All right, Met Yahoo, Doin Yamin Yitzchak Abbott Reeve. Now, this is going to strangely fit in with a theme of martial law. This is a symbol of what they would know as maritime martial law. You look at that figure and it looks like a sailor. It looks like a sailor, right? I just want to look at the whole thing for you. This is a theme of battle and war. People don't realize really what this is all about. There's your middle horse, and you got 3 horses. You don't have 4, but you have 2 people riding, 2 demon creatures. I want you to look at the demon creatures. Right. I'm not going to have all the details for this, but I believe this does fit into prophecy. Maybe people go, well, that is not in the Bible, is it? Well, there's a horse rider in the book of Revelation, that's for sure. These are going to be fallen angels, and I'm going to give you a frontal view of this statue. Now, this is a World War memorial statue, no doubt, but I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to show you that part of it, and you're going to get a frontal. So again, I'm going to return to show you this Latin inscription. And I'm not going to read it in Latin. I can, but that does us no good here. I will translate it and include that maybe as an addendum to the video. This is a University of Texas, Austin. Texas Sons and Daughters University of Texas gave their lives during the World War. And this is probably going to be World War I. I have to go verify some details on that. I'm just here to get some facts to you. Nobis. There was a linebacker at the University of Texas, number 60, named Tommy Nobis. Okay, and that number 60 can never be worn during a game except if it's very special. So, this is who made the monument. The UT Tower bell just rang, and it's still ringing. I showed you how you could put a corner on this and get the Molech, Neptune, Atlantis theme. I'm going to give you a back view of this again. You'll see the statue. When you get the frontal, this is from the left side facing the Texas state capitol here in Austin, Texas. This is a theme of battle, war, because it's a war memorial. This is also a symbol of maritime martial law. This statue was made very recently in the 20th century. So you're going to get a theme of maritime martial law when you see all this. You see the soldiers, right, on both sides of it. Now you're going to get the frontal and the more side view. You can see everything around it. These gardens, right? These gardens make everything look so much better, don't they? Okay? You're going to see these gardens could be the gardens of abomination that Isaiah 66 talks about. All right? That's part of it. You're going to get a more frontal view of... Now, this looks like an Athena view. The goddess Athena. This is more of a bona fide... This could be a falcon bird. Or this is a gargoyle kind of bird that kind of looked like a falcon. You saw this kind of stuff at the Vatican easily. I'm going to try to make these inscriptions white there for you. I can't read that right now. I don't have time. Then there's your battle theme. So I looked at this a little closer and saw Athena. They had the wings of the fallen angels. These are some demon creatures. 2 riders. Okay, this is going to carry the theme of Atlantis. This is going to be a horse with those kind of mermaid wings. It's mermaid Atlantis theme that I've already told you about. Now, the theme of Atlantis basically indicates that you can live in a city in the underworld, in the depths of the waters. Let me give you a good look at that again. That is Athena more so. This can also be, oh goodness, again, look at that gargoyle bird. When you looked at the UT Tower, at the corners, you could see the same kind of Molech owl and things like that. That's a memorial of World War I. As I've already said, these were the dates that they documented for the World War I. I have photos of the Texas State Capitol I already took 2 years ago that show a lot of the same things about the Civil War and World Wars and things. And again, you see the back panel of this. I am to the right of it, from behind it. Same battle theme, maritime, martial law. Again, this statue was made more recently in the 20th century. Again, there's your Texas State Capitol. Right there. You see the fountains more towards 20... I forgot what street this is, but there's MLK, so this is about 21st Street around here. There's a church with a pagan, steeple. Now the hall right across from there is Benedict, for the word benediction, but you also had a Benedict who is a betrayer. This is, you can't see it here, but this is going to be Rainy Hall. And I'm going to walk out towards here, so I'll show you Rainy Hall. Rainy, Benedict, the waters that are back behind here, take a look at this. This to me is no coincidence. There's Rainy Hall. There are the waters. They are pretty much, to me, exemplifying the deluge, but not, I'll show you in a moment. So you have a University Catholic Center right there. You have a University Christian Church right here. They call it Disciples of Christ. I call them Disciples of the Devil. Look what's up there, another pin needle obelisk. I already showed you earlier the Hyde Park. There's 5G technology on top of this too. So I'm going to go ahead and note that. There is a 5G technology needle on top of that sucker. Take a look. This is facing the Texas State Capitol. Again, Benedict Hall, a good word of betrayal is how I interpret this. Rainy is indicative of the waters. Now you look at the frontal here, as I've shown you before. You've got Pegasus, you've got Athena, you've got the theme of Atlantis, you've got the theme of a city that could possibly dwell underwater. There's your UT Tower. Like I said, you can even look at that from the face rather than the corners joining and see some pagan symbolism. But there's your martial law theme. I'm going to tell you again, people will not believe this. The Balcones Fault. Now the Colorado River splits downtown past the Capitol in that direction. You also see the Frost Tower in the distance. The Colorado River flows east-west just beyond the Frost Tower that you see down there. There's your Frost Tower with the Molech owl horns. You're going to see that the Colorado River will be split by the Balcones Fault. Most of south part of Austin will probably be flooded almost completely underwater, at least 20 to 30 feet. And I've seen this happen in Louisville, Kentucky, so I know I'm not in a similar kind of river, so I'm not just blowing smoke. 1997, a massive flood flooded much of downtown Louisville, Kentucky, much the same way. The Balcones Fault is going to converge with the Edwards Aquifer, and this has a lot to do with the new Q2 soccer stadium on Burnett and Breaker, and what's going to happen when you quake. So Breaker, Quaker, Hadron Collider from the J.J. Pickle Research Center. That's going to cause Austin to receive the Dragon. The earthquake's going to happen. Probably the Dragon's going to be kicked out of the second heaven and forced completely to earth to let Satan go do all his will during the tribulation. There's a lot more to this I could say, but I might say this in like an off-scene camera shoot with me discussing it further, like inside of a room or a house or something. So I'm going to bid you shalom, shalom. I reign in peace. This is what I believe the prophecy is all about, with all this theme of Atlantis, martial law, the new soccer stadium, the dragon, the Hadron Collider that I know for certain is at that J.J. Pickle Research Center. Everything here is complete. Signing out. Shalom. And here is even a better look at the UT Tower. Look at it from the corners. Now what do you see? Something different? Something you didn't realize before? Look at all the columns, the way the buildings were made. But again, you're going to see, also in the book of Revelation, you could see that this looks like the spirits of, frogs. The frogs that come out as foul spirits. That's also in this. And this is also very much like a theme of amphibia fantasia, if I can just call it that. So anyway, that's a better look at the UT Tower. Much closer look at it, and you see the columns, you see all the architecture behind it. Is that esoteric, or am I just uncovering that these founders of the state of Texas were pagan, wicked idolaters, and the three main denominations beside Catholicism that were represented were first Southern Baptist, then Presbyterian, then Methodist, and that really follows from that the Texas as a state entered the Union at the same year the Southern Baptist Convention was founded, even though Presbyterians had probably been here a lot longer. So anyway, I'm going to finish on that part of it. And we'll continue on with the dialogue about the state of Texas. Now this is the UT Tower, Austin, Texas. Now this institution was founded in 1836 when it first became an independent republic. Then in 1945 it became a state of the Union. Now there are your dates right there for corroboration. That's the 1836. Looks like here the tower was built in 1935. So it took, or this is the centennial of it or something, whatever it is. That was the centennial back in 1935 when this may have been built. But I can tell you, look at the very top, you're likely going to see nasty mold. This place is so full of mold, they're going to have to destroy it. Texas is a terrible place to build mason structures. Look at the mold up in here. Moldy. It's just really horrible. The mold that's all over these older buildings on campus is quite incredible. But here's a bigger blasphemy right here. To sit there and tell me that truth can be found here, when Yahushua Messiah is the truth. Jesus the Christ of Nazareth is the truth. Yet, this inscription of John 8:32, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free, is about the biggest blasphemy you're ever going to find. This is the first level administrative buildings. And of course they've made everything modern, but I'm going to give you a closer look of something here. Before I show you something though, I'm going to show you they have also managed to put a surveillance camera right under a tree right here. But I'm going to show you one of the biggest examples of this nasty mold. Brother Daniel has described this to me as graphene. In the vaccines, they're using graphene. These are graphene particles. So they're using mold in the vaccines to accentuate their effect and for probably some kind of electroconductive power here, at least as a carrier. That's an example of mold. Why do you have seashells as a commemoration on a campus that's about 250 miles inland? Because this is part of the theme of Atlantis. And look up at another idol here. There's another idol. Is that truth? That's your theme of Atlantis, your theme of maritime martial law. everything all wrapped up in it right here. Hey, if Nimrod had the ability to build a tower, then why wouldn't the founders of the state of Texas? They just got their secrets all the way from Nimrod. And I'm looking towards the south, towards the state capitol, and there are a bunch of young children whooping and hollering at a dumb idol. We filmed that idol over a week ago at the South Mall fountain, where you saw the angel's wings and all that stuff, and you see a statue right there too. This whole thing has been about battle and conquest. This is a form of Nicolaitanism, exemplified in most certainly. More mold right there. When you look close at the 1836 placard, you see a sort of Sparta battle theme, greco-roman. Then you look up there and you see the pentagram, the satanic star, and on the 1935 you see another pentagram, a battle of Sparta theme, and you see all the Greek pillars, like you see at High Point Baptist Church baptistry and throughout their sanctuary. They're all pretty much equivalent. So yes, this tower was first erected in 1936. As you can see right here, dedicated by the Board of Regents at that time. Beaufort H. Jester was the chairman. The president was H.Y. Benedict at that time, and that's where you got Benedict Hall. All these names here, a lot of them are in the six-pack here. Now, this is very interesting that I came up here, but you're going to see we have already looked at the prophecy about the dragon at the soccer stadium, the new soccer stadium. And what you're going to see here now is the theme of the dragon. Very clear. And these are the same kind of red and yellow that is typical of of their themes of the dragon. And they are all throughout here. So this prophecy about the dragon is quite prevalent throughout this campus, and especially here at the tower. And so it is not any different than, and also when you look at these dragon things, there's the little snake kind of thing, kind of like Egyptian kind of stuff. This was 1882 when the lower level of this tower building was built. The tower itself was erected in 1936, but 1882 is when this building, November the 16th, 1882, was actually began. This is the basic foundation of what you saw come 1936. But as you look down here, this place is all still full of filthy mold. They try to probably do something to remediate it, but these are old style Western wood rafters. These are probably not original, but these are probably very old. I can look at them and tell they're a lot older. And I'll just give you a look at that. There's the 1936 cornerstone, more towards the southeast part of the building. The Sparta battle themes seem to look different than this Athena. This looks more like Athena. And you look up there, and you see some things up there. I'll get a better look at it. Yes, that's going to be more of your theme of Atlantis up there too. The dragon, the beast, serpent, Leviathan, everything I saw in the dream about Virginia Beach. And I will tell you about the dream here in a little bit about what's going to happen to this tower in the future. Okay, here's another look at. Okay, now here is a look towards the. This is from the southeast corner. This is facing the southeast. Let's just say that. FBI agent Brian Russell, am I still being esoteric about what I tell you about Molech? This is the corner opposite. You're going to still see the frog, and also you see here the frogs as foul spirits. You're going to see Molech. You're going to see Neptune. You're going to see Behemoth, Leviathan, everything that the founders of the state of Texas, who were Southern Baptists, Presbyterians, Methodists, Catholics, what they really worshipped. Not what you say, not what they say they worship. Now also you can see the corona thing in this too, and I have not said that before, but now we have the coronavirus scam plandemic. And this thing is like the head of a corona. So you're going to see, also here is the mind hive, the beehive. That means this institution has always been a form of mind control and conformance to society. Its dissidents are not going to get very far in life according to their culture. And I have not. Because I have not lifted my soul up to these idols. And King David said that too, by the way. But here you look at it and see the mind hive, the beehive, the cage around the beehive. You can just look at this in many different ways. And as we get further below this mind hive, this technology is mind hive technology. It's going to wrap itself around your brain. It's going to control your thoughts and your mind. It's going to be used for crowd control. It's going to be used for a lot of things here. Now, what I'm going to say is I'm going to walk away from this tower. There's so much other things I could do here, but I want to get to the state capitol for a final prophecy. But what I'm going to tell you is this tower is going to go down much like what happened in 9/11. I had a dream about it. Mark Ferguson was standing at the base of the tower on the west side of the tower, and he was kind of flexing his arms and he was screaming in anger. You could have thought, I kind of thought about Bill Cooper there too about 9/11, but this tower is going to collapse. It's so full of mold and mildew, it's nasty. But I'm going to tell you, you can look at the metal panels on this tower, and they're corroded and rusted. And the tower shooting in 1966 is also an indication that the first 9/11 happened, that this 9/11 is also going to happen. And it's going to be sad to see people weeping over something that God hates, that Yahuwah hates. And so I needed to get into the shade to let you know that this tower is going to fall one day. If Yahuwah's dreams to me are going to be true, and they are of Yahuwah, this tower is going straight down. It's going to tilt slightly, but it's still going to fall straight down. It's going to tilt slightly to the right, looking at it from the west, which is opposite here. It's going to tilt to the right slightly, and it's going to still go straight down. Kind of like New York Tower, the Trade Towers number 7. I am sad to have to say this. I don't rejoice in it, but I don't rejoice in evil, but my dreams are an indicator this is going to happen. Now, you can see all of the tower. You can see all the technology on top of the tower. On the very top, where above the clock is, you may not be able to see this too well, but there are looks like two birds facing each other, kind of like the Federalist birds of Freemasonry. But you do see the mind hive, the beehive. But look at the very top. The needles are there. We saw this at Hyde Park Baptist Church too. We saw this at Hillcrest Baptist Church. All the other obelisks are probably containers of 5G towers too. I could not look at High Point Baptist to see this, but you could see the mind hive that's going on here. Mind hive is mind control, and education has always been a form of mind control. And when many are taken to the FEMA concentration camps, out of their church buildings when they haven't conformed, from other parts of cities and areas, They're going to be a mind hive down there waiting for you in those concentration camps. Are you willing to be able to withstand the torture and the tactics that are going to be done upon you? Because if you think getting a B instead of an A is bad, wait until you say it's either the mark of the beast and the lake of fire, or be beheaded and go to rule and reign with Christ 1,000 years, as it says in Revelation 20, verse 4. And now you can see the difference between the base of the original in 1886 and the tower that went up in 1936, and what happened merely 30 years later at the tower shooting where Whitman went up there and supposedly blew some people away and all that. But I do believe it was the first orchestrated false flag in Austin, Texas history that would have gone national and worldwide. Anyways, I'm behind a tree looking at the sunset here to the west. We are at about 5 o'clock Eastern Time, August the 6th, 2021. And that was just at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. So, Austin, Texas, say goodbye to the main attraction of this, your first educational institution of learning at a higher level ever. Say goodbye to your tower. Yahuwah will bring it to pass according to Ezekiel chapter 14, according to the multitude of your idols. Say goodbye to your tower. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't plan on orchestrating anything. I don't encourage anyone to try to do anything. I don't encourage violence. I do not want it to happen. But I look at what's the mold and how the structures are. I look at what's going to happen by Town Lake. I've already proved that. I'm going to look at the judgment that's going to fall upon this state for your high-minded, hive-minded thinking that you thought you could be wiser than Yahuwah to conform and control thought rather than the Holy Spirit. And that's what these vaccines are about. That's what this technology is about. I'm finished with the part of the Texas Tower. I'm going to move on to the state capitol, and I'm going to say some final words about that and pronounce judgment on the state of Texas from there. And this will be about another 30 minutes at least. So please hang on. Madat Yahukanan, Doin Yamin, Yitzchak, Abbott Reeve. Half Cherokee, 1/4 Iroquois, mostly Native American. And so was that guy Roy, I believe, too. So please continue listening further on to the prophecy on Austin, Texas, and really the rest of Texas. Now again, showed you the South Mall War Memorial, which actually shows a picture of maritime martial law, and it's a memorial for World War I. I went ahead and, verified that. But people, FBI agent Brian Franklin Russell of Austin, Texas, told me not to be so esoteric when I showed him this. And you're going to be able to tell even more so that is a monument to Molech, Neptune, theme of Atlantis, everything that follows from it. But your FBI agent, Brian Franklin Russell, told me when I showed him this not to be so esoteric. And, Myra Bobby Lamar is the one who instituted this University of Texas system of education, and it started right here in Austin, Texas. Now, Myra Bobby Lamar was in the French Illuminati. We do know that. He was a sympathizer of Napoleon Bonaparte, if not in word, in deed. And it just goes to prove that Southern Baptists, Presbyterians, and Methodists helped found this state, and they were every bit as much a pagan, wicked idolater as anybody else could have ever been. But you take a good, close look at that, and you're going to see a theme. The themes I just showed you, the theme of Atlantis, the themes of Neptune, the themes of maritime martial law, the theme of battle and war, and, you know, Freemasonry, all that. And this is where the 1966 tower shooting was also. Some very details about this that I'd be curious about knowing more about. Anyway, this was just a quick video about that to add to the others I'm going to do. Shalom, shalom, I reign in peace.